Let's move into section 10.2, multiplying polynomials by a monomial. We're going to go back and relearn, I shouldn't say just learn, but relearn the distributive property. And so just as an example, I gave you a few examples or a couple of examples that you've already seen, and then some stuff from module 8 that we've gone over that I just want to remind you of because this is going to be part of what we're going to be doing. So with the distributive property, if you remember, we distribute the 2 through. So in this case, we would have 2 times 3 plus 2 times 5, which would be 6 plus 10. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 5 is 10, and that would equal 16. Now, of course, I could have used PEMDAS, and I could have done grouping first, so I could have added those two first, so I get 2 times 8, which, of course, is also 16. So notice that either method will give me the same answers. That's what we're looking for whenever we're looking for ways to do problems is there an easier way? And if so, as long as you get the same answer, you're good. Okay, so now we're going to multiply those through. So if I multiply 3 times 4x, if you recall, we just multiply the numbers, so that becomes 12x. And then 3 times 7 is 21, so we end up with 12x plus 21. Okay, so now we're going to go over to this side. What is x times x? If you recall, if we have x times x, both of those are to the first power. That's going to equal x, and then 1 plus 1, which is, of course, 2. So it's x squared. Okay, so on this one, we do the same thing. We're going to add those powers. That's going to equal x to the 2 plus 3, which is x to the 5th. So that's what we get for those values. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to distribute. So this is where we learn what we're going to learn in this particular module, or this particular lesson of this module, is that we're going to learn how to distribute and multiply through. So we multiply the numbers. So 2 times 5, which is 10, and then x times x, which we can see up here is x squared. And then we have minus, and then we have 2 times 3, so now we're doing 2 times negative 3. That's where the negative comes from, which is negative 6. And then we have 1x, so we have 1x there. That's what we do. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply polynomials by a monomial. So we're going to distribute, so we're going to bring that through just like we did above. F times f squared. Remember, there's a hidden 1 up here. There's also a hidden 1 out here, and there's a hidden 1 over here. So we have that hidden 1 because we're really multiplying 1 times 1. 1 times 1, of course, is 1. F to the first times f to the second is f to the third because we add those two. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. And then we have plus 1 times 2, which is 2. F1 to the first power times f to the first power is f to the second power. And then finally, we have 25 times 1, which is 25. F to the first power. And so we write it like that. Now, in all of these problems, they're going to ask you to put it in standard form, which means you always want the highest power first and the lowest power last. Okay, so one more. So we're going to go ahead and multiply these through. So we have 2 times 2, which is 4, p times p, which is p squared, and r squared times r, which is r to the third. In the second one, we have plus 2 times 5, which is 10, p times p squared, which is, of course, p to the third, r squared times r, which is, again, r to the third power. And then 2 times negative 15, because we have that negative in front, negative 30, p times p, which is p squared. There is no r, so that just becomes r squared. Now, you'll notice this is not in the correct order. Highest degree is 6. So my degree of this particular polynomial is 6. Why is that? Because of the 3 plus 3 powers that are there. So notice, of course, over here we have 5. This here we have 4. So this is my highest power. So I would rewrite it as 10p cubed, r cubed. Next one in line is plus 4p squared, r cubed. Then finally, the last one in line would be 30p squared, negative 30p squared, r squared. Now remember, my degree is 6 because of those numbers right here. My leading coefficient is this one, so that's my leading coefficient. Okay, and that's what we have. Okay, so we're done with this video. We're going to go on and do the rest of the problems, or the next set of problems, in the next video.